I saw a report earlier this week, and it's not even a report per se. We can argue about rumors, report, conjecture, whatever. Mm-hmm. A radio host, I'll boil it down to this for someone who's driving around. A radio host in New England basically said that he's hearing grumblings.
Yes, and rumblings.
A rumbling, a tumbling, a stumbling, that the Patriots are sniffing around Deebo Samuel, meaning the New England Patriots with Mac Jones, who had a very subpar year this year, and they don't really have any dynamic weapons on offense, although I like Stevenson, the running back. Mm-hmm. They want Deebo Samuel. Now, Niner fans are going to think of a lot of things here, and they're going to go crazy. Well, he's owed a lot of money. I love Deebo. Shanahan loves Deebo. And I get all that. There's a $28 million dead cap hit if he were to be moved, which feels insurmountable, meaning if you get rid of Deebo Samuel, you're basically out almost $30 million.
Yes.
All right? Now, I just did a quick little search, all right? Let me give you some of the highest amounts of dead money that have been moved in recent history. This last year, Matt Ryan, $40 million.
Wow.
Now, the Falcons suck, and you can say they stink at business. All right? Carson Wentz, $34 million in dead cap money. Russell Wilson this last year, almost $30 million, $26 million. Now, Seattle's kind of a good example here. They had a great year. Yeah. And if you look at their future moving forward, boy, did it feel like a great decision to move off of Russell Wilson.
Right. Wrote me off, didn't write back, Geno Smith. So what people need to understand is, to your point, it's all about what you're getting back. So the whole Deebo's not going to move because of this $28 million cap hit or dead cap. That's not necessarily true if the Patriots pony up. If the Patriots are willing to give a first round and a second round or whatever it is, if that price tag, okay, hey, because we know what the Seahawks got back. We know what these teams have gotten back in the past. So if the Patriots say, hey, we know you got to take this cap hit, so because of that, this is what we're giving you, and it's enticing enough that $28 million doesn't look that bad anymore, this thing isn't completely done.
No.
It's just if the Patriots, if what they're offering to the Niners doesn't add up, in addition to the $28 million that the Niners would have to eat, that's when the Niners would say, well, you got to come harder than that, because if you don't, I'm not wasting my time.
So let's go with what we know. Before Christian McCaffrey got here, Deebo was the primary player on this offense.
Yes.
Right? Now, you could argue maybe George Kittle, but Deebo willed them last year, the year prior to this last year, right? They paid him a boatload of money, right?
He requested a trade as well.
Shanahan clearly loves him. They were infatuated with him once they met him at the Senior Bowl, and he has felt like their guy. He sets the tone for this team. There's a physical presence and a way that he plays that resonates with this team on both sides of the ball. And then the other part of this is, if you have Christian McCaffrey, what does that do for Deebo Samuel moving forward?
I'm saying, man, it's a conversation that nobody wants to have, because we have this embarrassment of riches. Why would we need this? Why wouldn't we keep Deebo? Well, because Deebo is never going to have a higher value, I don't think, than he has right now. Maybe you could argue you would still have him next season. He's never going to have higher value. And I do think there are some things when it comes to, okay, will everybody be able to eat and how you game plan? Everybody's not eating every game. It's a McCaffrey game. It's a Deebo game, which weren't the same this year because of injuries and things like that. Each of these guys, then you have Kittle coming back. So I don't think, I'll put it to you like this, and I'm not trying to, I would never disrespect Deebo. He comes out with the boombox, Kodak Black. I do not think that Deebo Samuel is replaceable. But I do think that Deebo Samuel's production is replaceable.
What do you mean by that?
Because Deebo Samuel as a whole, they're not a bunch of Deebos running around. And they're going to do it this draft.
In terms of versatile weapons?
Versatile weapons. He's just, he's a backyard player. He's Deebo. And we're going to do it this year with the NFL draft. I don't know, Bob. How many comps are Todd McShay going to say for are Deebo? There's only one Deebo. So you can't replace Deebo. But can you replace Deebo's production? I think you can. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have Brandon Ayuk, who is more of a traditional wide receiver. You want to talk about the Senior Bowl? I watched Deebo's Senior Bowl red zone routes, right? I haven't seen Deebo run a route like that in probably 2 to 3 years.
Me and Sam went to 9. I think it was 9 total of the training camps, practices? How many, Sam, were you at all 9 with me?
No, I went to like 2 with you, so I think you went to Langford with all those other
Okay, it
ones.
was Langford. Okay, anyway, point being, we watched Deebo, and Sam, get in here. We watched Deebo run routes when he got the contract extension, came back. Now, early in the process, because he hadn't been practicing, is he a great route runner, Sam Lubman? Just watching him work the drills in comparison to Brandon Ayuk.
I mean, you could probably say he's average at best, and that's being
And
generous.
I wouldn't even compare
lining him up with the other receivers.
right. And I wouldn't even compare
him.
him to Ayuk because I think Ayuk is a technician. He's nasty at routes.
He gets crazy separation on 2 hops. So there's a couple of things here. Deebo's one of my favorite players, like ever, in a Niner uniform. And I don't say that lightly. Like, Alan, there are certain guys that I fall in love with.
Yeah.
Bowman, Willis, like, for a reason.
He's your guy.
I love Nick Bosa. I love Deebo Samuel. He is a playoff-tested battle war daddy. Like, this dude is a badass. I know I can go behind enemy lines, and I can give him the rock X amount of times and kick the crap out of anyone and just run right through them. Is he a great route runner? No, but he fits what they do. That being said, I'm conflicted because I also know the number one position coming out of college that they are giving you more than any other position in the NFL is wide receiver. There are wide receivers everywhere. Now, I don't view Deebo as a wide receiver. I view him as a badass football player.
Yes,
right?
he's a weapon. He's a weapon.
It's different, right? It's different. Kansas City traded Tyreek Hill. They gave up the 29th overall pick, a 2nd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and another 4th and 6th-round pick in the next draft. Devontae Adams was traded, and I'm looking at it right here, okay? Devontae Adams was traded for a 1st and 2nd-round pick. All right? Now, you can say the Packers' season was kind of sabotaged by getting rid of Devontae Adams. And what did Devontae really do with the Raiders? Well, I would say he had a monster year.
Well, and he got paid after the trade.
So did Tyreek.
Right.
But it was both of their 3rd contracts.
Yes.
Whereas Deebo's on his 2nd right now and has already been paid. Like, I understand from a team-building aspect, you can get rid of a wide receiver and hopefully try to get that guy back. I watched what Tennessee did losing A.J. Brown. They lost their identity.
They did because Ryan Tannehill is no way like Jalen Hurts, but it was, hey, we got the boom, which is obviously Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Then we got the bust, and that's when AJ Brown does his thing. They didn't have that, so it was just a Derrick Henry show. And I'm gonna be honest with you, not to get too in the weeds with the Titans. They probably took a couple years off of Derrick Henry's career just because they've been using him like a workhorse because there's nowhere else to go.
100%.
There's nowhere else to go.
But that being said, like, I'm looking at Deebo and I'm saying to myself, we all know how great he is. We also know how physical he plays. And the brand of football he plays, he's going to stay. Football gets guys hurt. So I don't want to say that this is exclusive to Deebo. But he gets hurt a lot too because of the way he plays. And you just know it because it's what makes him special.
It's what you love about him.
Yes.
But there is a low probability that he will play every game. It's a low probability that he will miss what? What's the over-under on missed games for Deebo?
A couple.
Typically.
A couple.
At least.
A couple.
It's going to be a couple. Now, here's the question.
But I also know that come playoff time, he'll lose his right arm and still be able to run through someone.
Yes.
Because I literally watched him do it against Dallas and Green Bay. So that's where it's like the business side of me is like, look at Kansas City traded away Tyreek. They also had the greatest quarterback we've all ever seen. And they were able to offset that. I don't think that situation resides here. Even though I like Brock a lot, I'm hopeful that Trey can show what he can do. But I think right now Brock's my number one. That's clear. I love what he can do. Part of why I love Brock is because he's got Deebo, because he's got Ayuk, because he's got Kittle.
But hey, if all these people that want to give Brock Purdy the gold jacket, he should be able to ball without Deebo.
That's not fair.
I'm just saying.
Every player needs weapons.
I know, but he's got a lot of weapons.
No doubt. No doubt. So did Jalen Hurts.
But here's my thing with Deebo.
So you would trade Deebo?
I'm looking right here.
If push came to shove.
New England Patriots drafts by round.
And this is hypothetical. They have what, the 14th pick?
14th pick. Yeah. In the 2nd round, they have the 46th pick. 3rd round, they have the 76th pick.
The Niners do not have a 1st or 2nd round pick. Right now, their first choice in this draft would be the 99th overall selection. Of right now.
The question is $28 million worth a 1st round, a 2nd round, and a 3rd round pick?
And losing your identity.
And losing Deebo.
I don't think it is. I think you lose what makes you the 49ers on offense. And this is all hypothetical.
I would do it.
1 second here. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ HD1 in San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Dude, what are you doing? Download the Odyssey app right now. Favorite 95.7 The Game. You can get all the best sports coverage. Like when something breaks, let's say hypothetically Deebo gets traded like in 6 minutes. You'd be on the Odyssey app in 2 seconds, even if you're not in front of the radio or if you're not in front of your YouTube for whatever reason, and you can get us there. Also on YouTube and Twitch, search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe, hit that bell on YouTube. I see you guys all out there. I'm just going to ask the audience, 888-957-9570. The majority of Niner fans are like, no way in hell am I getting rid of Deebo Samuel. No way in hell. What would Bill Walsh do in this situation? Like I'm asking, like right now, like if I'm Bill Walsh, so we praise him. He always tried to get rid of someone a couple of years too early and get something back. There's a dead cap hit that feels too much to swallow. That's number one. You're losing your identity as a team to a degree, right? But you got no draft picks, and like you said, if it's about value and squeezing the best years out of somebody, could you make the argument maybe we've already seen the one outlier season from Deebo Samuel? And that you're going to get an INC in terms of incomplete with the rest of his career? I don't know. I'm not willing to do it, though. If this is all hypothetical, I'm not willing to trade him away. It's Deebo.
It's, like I said, first, second, and third from the Patriots. I don't know that I would actually pull the trigger, but I will say this. The thing about Deebo Samuel, it really depends on what you feel about Brock Purdy. Because I do think that an offense with whoever else you pick up, with Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Elijah Mitchell, Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk is pretty darn good if you really think that the quarterback of the future is Brock Purdy. I still think that's a lot of weapons without Deebo. I think what people like about Deebo and why the Patriots probably want Deebo because we don't know what Mac Jones is. Deebo is a Band-Aid. Deebo covers up a lot of things.
And he can do a lot.
And he can do a lot. Half the plays Kyle Shanahan just says, and we call Kyle Shanahan an offensive guru, offensive genius. Just give Deebo the ball. They're running recess plays. They're running plays that we ran at lunch break.
Did you see the Deebo play? Right before Trey Lance got hurt, they threw a screen. He broke like 4 tackles and went 50 yards.
Right. Did
you see the playoff game against Seattle?
That's why his route running doesn't matter.
He's a beast.
So they want him in New England because they don't really know. He will give you an identity. New England doesn't know what the heck they want to do. But we get a guy like Deebo, and we know we can just give him the ball, and he's going to do some things.
Let me ask you this. An 888-957-9570. There's a hypothetical trade out there where New England thinks that they're lurking around for Deebo Samuel. It's all speculation, and that's really what we're doing right now at this time of the year, is we're speculating here. But I find this to be fascinating. What would Bill Walsh do in this type of situation? We all agree he's one of the great general managers and just football minds of all time. What did Andy Reid just do? He just traded away Tyreek Hill, got multiple picks, and they just won. Now, again, Mahomes, I think, is the big differentiator between Brock and what they've got in Kansas City. But they just won a Super Bowl. Now, the Packers had a down year. Christian Watson looked really good.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
He did. And that's the other thing about the Patriots. Maybe they're coming to grips with the fact that they cannot successfully draft a wide receiver. They just can't. So
at all.
So we're just gonna we're just gonna get somebody that we know is good.
Yeah.
We can't continue to gamble and not hit.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, let's go out to Mike in Daly City. Mike, we're asking the hypothetical question because New England's saying that they're sniffing around Deebo Samuel. It's an unsubstantiated report, and it's all just it's speculation, but we're having a little fun with it this morning. What would you do with Deebo Samuel?
All right, Deebo's one of my favorite players. He's a freak of nature, but I would trade him because the Niners do need a new center. They're going to probably, I don't know about McGlinchey, but they're going to need offensive tackle. They need defensive line depth because I'm not sure about Drake Jackson. I hope he does better, but you need another pass rusher opposite Bosa. And right now they have a lot of higher-end people. So I think when Ayuk is up for his contract, they're going to have to pay him because I think he's just better than Deebo. And if you ever looked at Deebo's college season till now, he's hurt every other year, and he misses games. So
yeah, but I love Deebo. Like he doesn't miss the big games.
We all love Deebo.
He doesn't miss the big games. Like again, I know his resume is going to be spotty in terms of games played, like the games log. But here's what I do know: come playoff time, this dude's going to be there, and he's going to be running through people's soul.
So
I love Deebo.
That's a reason not to move him. I would say the reason not to move him is because you have Christian McCaffrey, who did stay healthy for the most part this season. He's had injury history. The Niners in general just are injured a lot, and Elijah Mitchell can't seem to stay on the field. That is probably the strongest reason, besides identity and what Deebo can do. That is the strongest reason to keep Deebo, because somebody's going to get injured, and you got to fill in and play musical chairs.
Oh, I think they need a number 3 anyway. Personally, I don't think Juwan Jennings is good enough number 3. So, like, they need to add a wide receiver at some point. Maybe down the line it's Danny Gray. But, like, man, losing Deebo. Because to me, he's not a wide receiver. He's a football player.
Yeah.
And I put him in a unique category. And when you have him and Christian McCaffrey, you're just so versatile. Like, I'm watching some of these sets that they're running and some of these plays, and I'm thinking to myself, God, give Brock one more year in this system, and they're just going to be able to pick teams apart.
Yeah, it's a good point. And look, there's still some formations that Kyle Shanahan probably had drawn up that we didn't even get to see.
No.
We didn't even get to see. So the ceiling of this offense is extremely high. I just don't necessarily, for what you can get back for Deebo right now, I just don't think that the offense, it drops off. But again, it goes back to health, because if everybody's healthy, yes, it drops off.
Yeah.
But do you still have a pretty darn good, set of skill players? You do.
Yeah, no doubt. I look at George Kittle as a good example for Deebo Samuel. He was hurt for a couple of years, not too bad, but hurt, and he bounced back so bad. Like, Kittle had a monster year this year. Yeah. When you say it was one of those, I'm back, I'm that dude.
Oh, no, yeah, he showed up. Whenever somebody's arguing Kittle and Kelsey, he's back.
Fred Warner, same thing. He kind of had a down year last year, and he hit the ground running. What's the commonality between those? Both got paid, tried to do a lot, got hurt, or maybe just underperformed, and then came back the following year and balled out. I expect Deebo to do the exact same thing. To me, this is like a non-starter. I'm not trading Deebo just for right now, especially with 2 young quarterbacks who I don't know who's going to be healthy. I don't know who's going to. The last thing
you need all the help you can get.
Exactly. Now, do I need to solidify the offensive line? Of course I do. This is why I don't jump over myself to pay Nick Bosa. Nick, I love you. We're going to pay you. I got the franchise tag in my back pocket. You're going to get top 5 money at the position. You got the 5th-year option, whatever it is. We're going to pay you. But for right now, I gotta figure out this quarterback thing, and I gotta figure out my offensive line. You're gonna get paid. You're going nowhere. That's what the franchise tag is for. Use it.
Yeah, and also, do you like getting double, triple teamed every single game? Now that's
a great point.
That might not necessarily completely change, but we got to get you some help. We got to get you some help, because we hear the conversations about the playoffs, not putting it on you per se, but we need you to be a factor, a bigger factor in the playoffs. And the only way we can do that is by putting somebody your opposite that might not be, chances are they're not going to be as good as you, but somebody that's going to put that pressure on.
Yeah, all right. I want to shout out, we're going to do shameless shout outs in about half an hour or so. So for anybody that's got a high school team out there that needs to be shouted out, I know CCS starts tonight. If you have a business out there that needs to be shouted out, John's Liquor Store, Bill's Auto Body Shop, if you run a dentist place or an orthodontist place, you name it, any kind of business, a sandwich shop. I just went to Roxy's the other day.
Okay.
Oh, God, Roxy's.
What'd you go with?
I went with a turkey toasted on sourdough, just chef's kiss.
You go sourdough over Dutch Crunch?
Well, it depends where I'm getting it at.
Okay.
I have to look at the sourdough before I get it.
Wow.
Sourdough far superior to Dutch Crunch, by the way. Not even close.
Stop
no,
that.
I will mix in a Dutch Crunch. But it's location dependent, because some people have the extra hard sour that I love.
When it cuts your mouth up?
Dog, that's what we grew up with, yo.
I'm out on that.
Sourdough the goat. Especially if I'm going to an Italian sub,
thank
I'm not
you.
going Dutch Crunch on
Thank
the
you.
Italian.
It's like,
Don't
all
sleep
right,
on ciabatta.
come on. That's
No,
like,
I am sleeping on ciabatta.
That's like
I am
pairing
definitely sleeping on
pastrami with
ciabatta.
American
Some good
cheese.
bread, then.
I love American cheese, but it needs to be paired with Swiss. Can we all agree?
No.
Pepper jack.
Pepper jack, I'll allow. A white cheese, I'll allow. Yes.
I love a pepper jack, but I'll go American by itself.
On a pastrami?
Oh, no, I didn't hear you say pastrami.
Yeah, on a
no.
pastrami. You got to
you
pair
need
certain
a
things
Swiss.
with certain cheeses.
Provolone,
it's like pairing.
yeah.
Thank you.
I would go
Provolone,
American.
man.
I would go American by itself on salami.
Yeah, I like. I would do that.
Okay.
But salami goes with everything.
That's true.
Can we agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. The gabagoula.
The gabagool. Love me some cured meat talk right here at 710.
It always comes back to Sopranos.